Hello, so this is going to be a quick review of my Penguin Friend that I watched recently. So this is essentially a family heartwarming film that you can watch with the kids or parents or yeah, any family without having to worry about any outrageous stuff. So very PG, very family friendly film. And so it stars Jean Reno. So essentially I know Jean Reno from basically the first Mission Impossible film when he plays that guy trying to steal the disc basically. So that's my extent of Jean Reno's knowledge. So the plot, essentially, you can guess from the film, it follows a penguin, essentially that goes to Jean Reno's place. I think every year, based on their migration or travel. So the penguins apparently go from one spot to another, and this is apparently based on a true story. So throughout 8 years, this penguin travels back and forth to this guy's place, presumably because he thinks it's a friend or it's just feeding it fish. I don't know, but essentially, this penguin essentially carries on going back to Jean Reno's place because it's a nice place, whatever. But at the very beginning of the film, Jean Reno's character goes through the loss of his son. So they live near the beach and seaside, and he goes through the loss of his son, having taken him out to sea during bad weather. And so, in a way, the penguin is almost symbolic of his son. Him taking care of the penguin is also him taking care of his son, feeding him, taking care of him, helping him grow up, essentially. So it's symbolic in that sense. And so, yeah, so it's a typical family-friendly film. Obviously, by the midpoint, there's obviously the antagonists. So the antagonists are the scientific research team. So they want to essentially take the penguin and use it for scientific research, essentially. But they want to take it away to a different place so it doesn't migrate, essentially. So during the film, there's like a YouTube subplot. So the penguin becomes famous and it's known all around the world, and that's how the scientific research team find out that one of their penguins is that YouTube star, and they're gonna get funding if they take the penguin and put it into a lab, essentially removing it from that home that the penguin really likes. And so you can guess it by the end that the penguin is taken to on the way to a lab, but then it kind of escapes, and then yeah, you can kind of guess the rest. Like it goes back to the tries to go back home to Gina Reno's home, and so essentially it's not an easy journey. He gets injured in the process, and as I mentioned, this penguin is symbolic of Jean Reno's son uh, dying essentially. So the penguin doesn't quite make it because he's injured. So Jean Reno ends up saving the penguin whilst out at a rescue to sea in a nearby island, and so he saves the penguin, and that kind of is like a redemption arc for the character in terms of they save the boy, save the penguin, and it was able to revive the penguin and yeah, take it to safety. So that's kind of summary of the film really, and so essentially this is a heartwarming tale, and it's a redemption arc for the main character, and so yeah, it's quite a touching film. Not as touching as Arthur the King, I think, but still quite a touching and heartwarming film. But I would give this a B because I think it's a decent film to watch. It's also quite short. It's about an hour and a half. It's a nice film to maybe watch with your kids or your parents, and just to maybe fill in some time, what have you. But it's a very nice film to watch, and yeah, I would recommend a B for this.